Hey, Kentucky, this is Matt Jones. Lamar Jackson's Heisman campaign hit a speed bump, and the UK fans partied at Commonwealth. The Governor's Cup is coming back where it belongs. We beat the Cards, and we'll talk about it next on Hey, Kentucky. Welcome, everybody, to Hey, Kentucky. Matt Jones, Drew Franklin. A celebration tonight as we got to talk about this U of L win. Look at you. You got to be happy.
I am. His shirt's a little big. I kind of feel stuffy in here.
I like it. Looks like you put on some weight at Thanksgiving.
A little Thanksgiving weight there.
But it's nice. Let's get started. Now, Kentucky fans have been talking all weekend about the amazing win over Louisville, so what's another 15 minutes? We kicked it off early, a 75-yard touchdown pass on the very first play to Juice Johnson. The Cats and Cards then traded the lead back and forth throughout the game, and UK was able to take advantage of Lamar Jackson's mistakes. He tied it up at 38-38 with 7 minutes to go. Cards got the ball back on a UK fumble, but then Jackson fumbled on the next drive. Kentucky took the ball, got it close enough for a 47-yard game winner. Austin McGinnis nailed it. Cats win, and we all celebrated. Drew, there's been a lot of UK football games, maybe one or two that were bigger. I'm not sure there's ever been one that's made me happier.
Yeah, the LSU upset when they went on to win the national championship, I think that's the biggest upset. But just as far as me being happy and, you know, the rivalry game, we hate Louisville fans.
I'm not sure if it's a bigger upset. I mean, if you remember, we were already good that year. I think we were ranked like 23rd, and they were first. I mean, this was a 28-point victory. That's pretty impressive.
And I believe they said it's the highest biggest upset by point spread this season in all of college football.
A lot of things that stick out to my mind, but how about the way Stephen Johnson played? I mean, that's a kid who's taken so much criticism this year, even though he just kept winning. I mean, I don't understand why people don't accept. He has had an amazing season.
Yeah, if you'd shown me just his stats, I would have guessed, oh, that was Lamar Jackson, 300 yards just throwing it. But I couldn't believe Johnson had that in him, really. We knew he was composed, could manage games, but he was the star of that game.
The defense was not great, but they were good enough to get the victory. And then they were able to get the turnover. Were you surprised that Jackson coughed up the ball there at the end?
I kind of was at the very end. I knew they turned it over. I think they're the worst in the nation at turnovers. So you knew Kentucky ended up getting a couple. The interceptions were huge. The fumble, I thought the game was over, though.
Part of what makes it so special is if you're a Kentucky fan is that they did it on their field. I mean, that's the key thing, Drew. Not only did you win on their field. They think they've got the best team they've ever had. I'm just not sure it gets better as a fan than that win.
Especially how they were cocky all week. Actually, all season long looking up to this game. They looked right over Kentucky, and then here we are with the win.
I think the players, the coaches, the fans, they all thought they could name their score, and they were wrong. Now, while UK fans lost their mind, the players and coaches celebrated with crazy scenes in the locker room and at Commonwealth Stadium. The players flashed the L's down the entire game, and when they walked off the field, they did it posing with the Governor's Cup in the locker room. The celebration then continued back in Lexington at Commonwealth Stadium. Thousands of fans and a DJ greeted the returning heroes with a massive party at Gate 12. Both Stoops and the players addressed the crowd. I'm not sure I ever remember a UK football celebration this exciting in terms of how into it people were.
And I like that they've started this, when they came back from Missouri, won that big game, fans met them at the airport. Now they're doing this. The football players, I feel like, don't get as much interaction with the fans, maybe the basketball. They don't feel the love. This is good for them to get out there and give some high fives.
And a lot of people don't even know what the football players look like. So, basketball players walk around town and fans come up and talk to them. Football players can go unnoticed. You and I saw Dorian Baker Saturday night. I didn't even know what he looked like. I mean, in some ways, I think that's part of the thing. And so it's nice for them to have moments like this.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the game. Their faces are covered up. There's 50 more of them on the team. It's hard to follow them personally.
What about the players? I mean, the players, the L's down, not only doing this all the time, but also doing it, and the coaches seem cool with it.
I bet they encourage it. It just shows the culture has changed in that locker room. They're playing with a swagger now. They're getting some cockiness themselves. I love seeing it. Stoops
you like the cockiness.
Oh, yeah.
I do, too, especially when you're an underdog. When you're an underdog, I think you need to have that chip on your shoulder, and they've had it, and getting to see them celebrate, I just loved it, considering where they've been earlier this year. And it has been an amazing turnaround for Mark Stoops. Many UK fans wanted to run him out after the loss to Southern Miss, and now he gets a $250,000 bonus just for winning the game against Louisville. His contract lays out a bonus for every win past 6, and he and his staff are also going to earn bowl game bonuses. Now, things weren't looking good early on, but Stoops preached patience. He kept saying he needs support from the fan base, and it appears to have paid off. And Drew, I have to tell you, I didn't want him fired, but I questioned whether or not this was going to work. He turned it around. He deserves a ton of credit.
He does. 250,000, good. Give him more if you want. He beat Louisville on the road, has Kentucky bowling for the first time since 2010. I know his contract's a little ridiculous, but I think this one he deserves.
Yeah, I mean, he does deserve it. And it is, look, $250,000 is not just for beating Louisville. It's the 7th win. I mean, think about it like this. He just tied the record for most wins in a regular season for Kentucky since 1984. I mean, it has been over 30 years since teams have won this many games. And considering it started with the Southern Miss loss, he really deserves all the praise in the world.
Yeah, I mean, after 2 games, we're just wondering if this thing was falling apart. And here we are looking back. It's almost silly how bad it was back then and how good it is now.
I mean, I remember you saying to me, and it wasn't just you, that you thought if they won 4, they'd be lucky after they lost those first 2. I was kind of the same way. And then, you know, he goes to his backup quarterback. I mean, the only person who probably really believed in him was himself.
I remember sitting on this show and saying, wouldn't it be funny if they go to a bowl, we look back at those bad couple weeks and just laugh at how, insane it was during those times?
7 wins.
And here we are.
I would have never imagined, especially after the start. Now, with Louisville in the rearview mirror, fans want to see where is Kentucky going to go bowling. Now, most experts have it down to basically 3 games. The Belt Bowl in Charlotte on December 29th, the Music City Bowl on December 30th, or the Tax Slayer Bowl in Jacksonville on the 31st. There are also chances of the Texas Bowl and the Liberty Bowl, but a lot of people have basically thought it's down to those 3. Now, I'm hearing today, Drew, that the Belt Bowl and the Tax Slayer Bowl are where Kentucky is pointing. And I think if I smart money today, it might be the Belt Bowl in Charlotte, North Carolina, playing North Carolina in Charlotte. Would you like that?
North Carolina, that can be a tough opponent. Are you
They're
fired
good.
up for some Charlotte? Didn't we make fun of Louisville for going to the Belk Bowl a couple years ago?
We did, but we also made fun of them for going to the Liberty Bowl. At this point, we'll take what we get.
I know a lot of UK fans would prefer Nashville. Seems that's a slim chance now, but really any bowl game you're happy with.
Well, what happened was Tennessee lost, and so now the Music City Bowl has a chance to get Tennessee. You can understand if you have Tennessee and Nashville, they'll get a lot of people. I love Charlotte as a city. I think it's a great city. Tim McGraw plays the pregame concert. But more importantly, that would be a real opponent. North Carolina in North Carolina, a really good test.
Yeah, you win that one. That says a lot about what this team has done this year.
And you have basketball against North Carolina the week before, and then playing football. I like the matchup. Basketball schools, but with good football teams in Charlotte. I think Kentucky fans would pack it, don't you?
Yeah, and I like UK to get the sweep there, basketball and football. Just
you
make
do?
it a fun week on the Tar Heels.
Who do you think's more likely to sweep, basketball or Kentucky or North Carolina?
Oh, Kentucky, definitely.
All right, well, I hope you're right.
Basketball team ain't losing to them.
I hope not.